What's going on, guys? Ian Binek back with another video, and in this video we are going to be talking about the top 5 B2B SaaS startup paid social media marketing tips. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. We're going to be talking through these, and I want to just say this. A lot of times when I reach out to founders, whether they're younger, whether they're older, they have a different understanding, or they have a misunderstanding, I should say, of what B2B paid social looks like. And so I kind of want to clear things up. Number one, and most importantly, is B2B paid social media marketing is all about positioning and casual reminders about your service and how it solves your customer's problem. And it's significantly way less about the quality of the content that you are posting. Obviously, you don't want to post crap, but posting an extremely nice, very much edited video versus just getting your content out there and hitting your customer a couple different times with different angles. That really nice video is going to do significantly less than having multiple reminders to your ICP or your ideal customer profile that your solution exists. And so something that I kind of generally say is it doesn't matter how pretty or awesome your video is if your solution is crap. And so, don't worry about how awesome your marketing video is unless you're in like some really big enterprise marketing company. Usually you're a scrappy B2B SaaS startup, like you're not really doing that. You're just trying to survive. You're trying to grow more customers. And so quality is sometimes sacrificed for quantity in this situation. And that's because casual reminders do so much more than just like a really nice video. So we're going to go through and talk about how I generally work with our startups and how I use social media to do that. I'll say this. I'll be the first one to say that, what works for one company does not work for all of them. But in my experience, there are definitely trends in B2B SaaS startups that really should be followed and that will generally influence more net revenue. So without further ado, let's just jump in. Number one, we're going to talk about LinkedIn ads. And so we work with companies, and generally speaking, the first paid social media marketing campaign that we create is on LinkedIn. It's because we're able to be very, very specific with who we're showing that ad to, firmographic data, job title data, just like any of that information. When we develop a persona for your B2B SaaS company, we know like who we're targeting, and so we know who we need to target in that advertising campaign. LinkedIn has some of the most up-to-date metrics and demographic information on out of any other advertising platform. And since you are in the B2B world, LinkedIn is one of the best options for us. So generally speaking, we're not starting on Facebook, we're not starting on like Twitter, we're doing LinkedIn ads to begin with. And that is like one of the most important platforms that you could be using. Now, we are going to be very intentional with your messaging. So B2B SaaS like companies, you generally have longer buying cycles, whether you're in like a sales-led growth or a product-led growth approach. So identifying your customers' problems at the right time is important to convert them into a customer. So this is super important. There are different kinds of messages that you need to show to your customer or your prospective customer during the period of time of discovery. And so we call these top of funnel content, middle of funnel content, and bottom of funnel content. And these take on different forms, and they basically address different objections that your customer or your prospective customer may have in the future. And what marketing is doing is we're creating this bias or this intention in your prospect that they already know the answers to these objections, and that's what marketing is doing. We're not physically telling them like a salesperson over the phone what these things are. We're just showing them, hey, we exist, this is what we do, this is what we solve, and that's generally very different from sales. But for top of funnel content, generally we have like a lead magnet, so we do like a free guide, or we do like a checklist or something relevant, maybe an infographic, something relevant that we can gate, that we can potentially get their email address. But also we ungate this at times too, depending on like the audience. It just really depends on the customer problems. We want to make it as easy as possible to nurture this customer, and we don't want to just like stonewall them and just like, hey, we want your email address, the first message we give them. but we will offer generally like a free guide or a checklist, or just like generally like talk about our services, and that'll be one of the first things that we even mention on a social media ad. Next, these are time-based audiences. So like after this first 30-day audience segment, or even like 15-day audience segment, we'll go on to the next, where we'll use testimonial ads. So if someone had like clicked through to the website, or if someone has seen our ad or interacted with our ad in the past, they're going to get a testimonial ad next. And we purposely segment our campaigns so that they're getting different messages as they do, or as they learn more about our company. And so testimonial ads from other customers is super important for middle of funnel content. And then last but not least, for bottom of funnel content, this is like after they've interacted with our site maybe once or twice, maybe they've interacted with our ads a couple of times, and then also they've maybe even given us an email address in exchange for one of these free guides or checklists that we mentioned above. Then we'll move them into our bottom of funnel content, which will generally be like in the form of a case study, and like this is how we've helped the company in the past. But being intentional with your messaging is super important. Generally speaking, you can't just like launch all of these kinds of angles in the same advertising campaign, because generally speaking, then you have no way to track how well each one of those angles is performing, because if they're in the same campaign, it's not optimizing appropriately. You need to have separate campaigns for these things. But yeah, let's just get into the next one. So this is find one channel and then that consistently drives inbounds, then double down on that channel. So generally speaking, startups don't have a lot of money. They don't have an exorbitant amount of cash that they can just throw at the wall and see if it works. And generally speaking, for most businesses, that's not what you want to be doing anyway. So when you're going after your profitable ICP, it's better to go spearfishing than it is to cast a wide net. And so we'll use the combination of LinkedIn and PPC ads to effectively stay top of mind and show up for whenever our prospects are looking for a solution. Obviously, we're not talking about PPC ads in this, but when we're using LinkedIn, we're able to effectively target them. When we're using PPC, we're effectively able to show up when the prospect is looking for a solution. Those two platforms are crucial to any B2B SaaS marketing stack, any advertising stack that they have. And then, LinkedIn is going to allow us to nurture these people all the way to bottom of funnel content. But then using PPC, we'll be able to retarget them on other social media platforms, which goes into our next item here, which is retarget on social media platforms. Like we've mentioned a couple times, we're starting with LinkedIn and we're starting with PPC ads because we know that the money that we're spending is ultimately allowing us to reach our ideal customer profile. And those people are going to be able to be retargeted using pixels from like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Reddit and all these other social media platforms. We're able to show those people ads now on those platforms because we originally targeted them with a LinkedIn ad or a PPC ad, and they clicked through to our site. They got cookied, and now they're tracked on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit, and we're able to show them ads now so we can stay top of mind. And we're going to make sure that the messaging that we're using on those platforms matches their life cycle stage from before that we talked about: top of funnel, middle funnel, bottom funnel. And then last but certainly not least, I hold this close to my heart. I'll always say this, but always be testing. Finding an appropriate A/B testing cadence will enhance this process tenfold. You'll be able to hedge your bets against being wrong, and always looking for things that can improve the process as it is today. So don't always assume that you have the best possible process. There's always something that can be improved, whether it's just a singular word. In a CTA, a singular word is a huge thing. Changing the word is a smaller thing, but still, small things like that can drastically improve your conversion rates. And as someone speaking from like a very strong conversion rate background, I've had like multiple jobs in Fortune 500 companies to, startups like B2C startups, B2B startups. Conversion rate optimization is something that's only getting larger and only more important. And so, doing the A/B testing that you're doing on your top of funnel of content, your middle of funnel content, and your bottom of funnel content is crucial for your paid ads to be successful. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to drop a like. I really appreciate it. It helps this video reach more people. And there's going to be way more videos like these in the future. Whenever I write a blog on my company website, we eventually film a video for it too later on in the week. So Have a great day. Subscribe if you're new, and continue to crush life. I'll talk to you soon.